Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. The other day, I was scrolling on TikTok on my work phone, where my For You page is thankfully, wonderfully catered to me as my who I am when I do work. So it's all just a bunch of terrible parents and conservatives, which is terrible, but very useful. And I stumbled upon this one woman who, she has a lot to say, but it's also like kind of the same thing over and over again. And she is a Republican, a Trump supporter, and her content is very just like, it's like skits of like conversations happening between a Republican and a liberal. She is obviously the Republican, and then she turns around and her other persona is the liberal, and she has like a blue hair filter on, which I just think is really funny. I just love that it's a conversation between her and herself, but it's herself with blue hair. That's how you know that they're a liberal. Hilarious. And I got so carried away. Like, I spent hours going through her account. I ended up saving 24 TikToks, and we all know that I am absolutely not talking about 24 TikToks in this video. So if you enjoy this and you do want to see a part 2 where I look at more of them, please leave a like. I have so many to talk about, so there is not going to be a shortage of content if you enjoy this. And if you do enjoy it and want to see another one of these or anything like it, please do not forget to hit subscribe. I am trying to hit 500k by the end of the year, and I really do appreciate it. It really does help me out, so thank you. And yeah, with that said and done, let's have a look at some of her debates that she is having with herself.
We can disagree on politics, but what we can't disagree on is basic human rights, and Trump has taken my basic human rights away. I'm not allowed to walk the streets unless a man is present. Yeah, I can't even talk to another man that's not my husband. We're not allowed to use the internet. I'm not allowed to leave my country, and if I do, they will punish my family for generations for it. We have just a few pictures of what haircuts we can get. At one point, we had a child limit, so we weren't allowed to have a certain amount of children. I can't believe Trump has taken all those human rights away from you. We feel you. It's horrible. Well, he didn't do that. Oh my gosh, it's worse. Like, are you not allowed to eat? What's going on? Did he take your free speech away? Because we know that that's a huge thing in America. No, I still have free speech. What did he do? Well, he made it to where abortion is not legal in every single state now. That's your basic human right that's been taken away? We wish.
Girl, this is not this is not how these arguments work. This is not how this works at all. The whole thing of being like, oh, you think that you have it bad? Well, those people over there, they have it worse, so shut up. That's not an argument. That's not a point. Other people having bad circumstances does not mean other circumstances aren't bad. They don't have to be on like equal level of badness in order to be valid. Otherwise, literally only one person's pain matters in the entire world. You have to figure out which person has it the worst, and they're the only person in the entire world who is allowed to be upset, because someone always has it worse than you. Doesn't mean that what you're going through isn't valid. Doesn't mean that what you're experiencing isn't important. Yeah, being like, these women from other countries are so envious that the only thing you don't have, like, no. Like, that's disrespectful to literally everyone involved. I don't think these women from other places are going to be looking at like American women and being like, damn, I wish the only right I had taken away was this. That's not how they're thinking. That's not a conversation that is being had, right? I also am kind of obsessed though with the fact that she somehow could not think of very many countries. So she went for China, and it wasn't even what's happening now. It was at one point, we were only allowed to have one child. So in the past, you're not even using a current thing? Because we could use that too. At one point, we weren't allowed to vote. At one point, it was legal for your husband to beat you nearly to death. Like, you can't use past examples to make a present argument. If you can only, like, why did you do that? Why did you think that that was gonna work? In general, terrible argument. Terrible argument. It's like the whole thing of like when you don't eat your food, it's like, oh, well, there are children starving in Africa. Yeah, and that sucks, and I'm really sorry, but I can't do anything about that right now. And me not finishing my dinner because I'm not hungry isn't actually making their life worse. Like, like it's terrible that that shit's happening. What's happening to women in other places is horrible. Absolutely. My rights to abortion being taken away is not making their situation any worse, is it? It's making my situation worse, and theirs the same. So overall, in total, it's just getting worse. Nothing is getting better. It's not like there's an exchange. They're not like, okay, so we're taking abortion rights away from you in the US because if we do that, then it means that women in Iran are allowed to drive. That wasn't an exchange. It's not something that happened. Abortion is illegal and women still can't drive. The only change was negative. So like, what is your point? People are allowed to be upset when their rights are threatened and taken away. So POV, you're on a first date and trying to find out if they're a Trump supporter.
So, have you ever driven an electric car?
Nope. They're terrible. Unless, what college did you go to?
Liberty University. What about you?
South Alabama. So, Team Blake or Justin?
Team Justin. Did you get vaccinated in 2020?
No. Did you? What's your opinion on the border?
I love immigration. I think we need immigrants in our country, you know? Legal immigrants.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes. Are you?
Yeah.
I hated every second of that. Some of these, I don't, okay. Well, alright. There's so much there. A lot of them stood out, but the two that stood out the most to me was, do you drive electric cars? No. Isn't a Tesla an electric car? And don't Trumpies fucking love Elon Musk? Was he not a massive part of the government and admitted to fucking rigging the election so Trump would win? Trumpies love Elon Musk. So I feel like I don't like electric cars is not actually a Trumpy opinion. That's a weird you opinion. And also, I mean, it's a selection of the Trumpy sort of cult, right? It's the I hate the environment people, meat and oil cars and milk. So you go into a date to figure out if they're a Trump supporter. It's, do you love dumping oil into the ocean? Do you love greenhouse gases and you really wish that we had plastic straws and single-use plastic bags and that we all just spit on environmentalists? That's kind of really what the question is, right? It's not about electric cars, it's about fuck the environment. And the other one, that really shouldn't be surprising. Really shouldn't, based on who they support and vote for. But are you Team Blake or Team Justin? Sorry? What? I shouldn't be surprised. Shouldn't be surprised that there's a question that they ask. That's a way to sort out Trump supporters being do you support woman or the person that she accused of sexual harassment? They're obviously I support the sexual harasser. Oh my god, besties! I mean, that does tick a Trump box, doesn't it? But I can't believe that that's a thing that they ask and are so this is how to identify each other. If you want to find a Trumpy, ask if they support sexual harassment and hate women. That will work. It will work. Glad they're being open about it. Did you get vaccinated in 2020? Lord.
I really can't feel bad for a man who said that firearm deaths every year are worth it to keep the Second Amendment. That's insane. Really? That's your argument? Well, if you continue to listen, he also talked about cars and how people get in car accidents every year and die from them, but yet we still have cars. So by your logic, cars should be illegal too. 40,000 people die in car accidents every single year. That's actually a higher number than violence. So should we just ban driving altogether? Firearms are different. People die from them. Okay, let's break it down. About 60% of firearm deaths are suicides, not murders. 35% are homicides, and the rest are accidents. You don't see people banning swimming pools even though people drown. Well, that's not the same. It's literally the same logic that you're using. Every freedom that we have comes with risk. Cars, stairs, pools, even boating. People unfortunately die from all kinds of stuff. Charlie's point is that freedom is worth defending even if there is a cost. That doesn't mean that he wanted to be murdered. I guess, but still. Yeah, maybe next time you throw around the word live by the sword, die by the sword, check the stats.
And in case you were wondering who is arguing which side, obviously the we should get rid of guns side was the blue hair, because she had to make sure you knew, so like she had to give herself blue hair, which I still think is really funny, even though it looks really good. It's a really good filter. Anyway, I love when they make this argument, because girl, no. Those are not the same point. Like, you're coming in and trying to make us look stupid by being like, use logic and facts, sweetie. Like, people die in car accidents and you're not asking for cars to be illegal. And that's like your own argument. You're saying that guns kill people, so they should be illegal. And so like, you're obviously stupid because you don't think other lethal things should be illegal. Cars have another purpose. Let me break it down for you this way. Since you seem to not understand logic and are refusing to actually use it. Guns. What is their purpose? What is their intention? List for me 3 things that a gun is for. You can't. There's one. Killing things. It's its only function. And like, you can use it to not kill things, right? You can like use it for target practice. You can go shoot some bottles. But the target practice is it's practicing to kill things, or at the very least to maim them. That's their only purpose. You buy a gun, you buy it with the intention to hurt someone. A car, yeah? A car is, you know, it gets you places. You don't get in a car with the intention to kill yourself or someone else. Very occasionally people will do that, sure, but like, that's not usually the intention. You don't buy a car and are like, ooh, I'm gonna practice running people over and then one day maybe I'll get to do it. You buy a car so you can drive places and you can get around easier. That's why you get a car. The killing, that's an accident. That's a side effect of having a car, not the purpose of having a car. Banning cars and making cars illegal makes people's lives much more difficult, especially in such a big car country like the US. Like, banning cars, making them illegal, just makes life really hard. Banning guns makes no one's life any more difficult because no one fucking needs a gun. They only exist to hurt people. And like 5% of gun deaths are an accident. That's worse. To be honest, I'm gonna tell you right now, like 60% of gun deaths being suicide, that's really fucking sad. Like, suicide is so much easier to do with a gun and it gives people way less of a chance. So many homicides that happen. And then 5% accident being like, and 5% are an accident and you don't ban swimming pools because people drown. At swimming pools, there are lifeguards. Usually, pools serve a function that isn't death. Accidentally dying by firearm is fucking ridiculous. Like, that should not be a thing that happens. And you're out here being like, so many people die from accident of the firearm. It's fine. That's okay. That's normal. Nothing you can do about it. Yeah, you can. You can get rid of them. This is a conversation between Democrat 1, who has ginger hair, and Democrat 2, who has blue hair. Very important, obviously.
I am Democrat. I have voted blue in every election, but I do disagree with our party on just a few things. Like, for instance, I do believe in borders. You are a MAGA far-right extremist. No. I swear, I do not like Trump, like, at all. I am super Democrat. Like, I recycle paper straws and cry at AOC speeches. I just think maybe we should have a border. I cannot believe I'm sitting next to a white, supremacist, racist, bigot, fascist. Get out of my face. Yeah, I'm Democrat, but I think maybe we shouldn't censor every single opinion online. You know, free speech. Yahtzee. No, I literally have a Biden bumper sticker on my Prius. La, can't hear you. Hate speech. Yeah, I am Republican, but I actually am pro-choice. Oh, okay, cool. Agree to disagree? Wanna go grab tacos? Sure, and I also love solar panels. Well, I like oil, but you know what? It's okay. Still friends? Yeah, of course. That's what I love about our party, is that we can agree to disagree respectfully. Fascists! Can I join you guys? Yeah, come eat with us.
Obviously, she did this on accident because she doesn't really understand the terms or whatever here, but that's because that was a liberal. It wasn't Democrat 1 and Democrat 2. It was liberal and leftist. That was the difference. And liberals, as, you know, explained by the end, being like, can I come join you guys, you Republicans? They are much more conservative, right? And I'm not going to say that the depiction of a leftist was not over dramatic. This is the problem with so many of these like conservative people, is that they genuinely like do not know the difference between a leftist and a liberal, because there is a difference. And a lot of the time when they're talking about these blue-haired liberals, they are talking about leftists, because liberals are not having these same sort of opinions. And I find it really funny to, you know, not really have that distinguisher on the right, even though it does exist. Like, she's like, all Republicans get along. I'm like, okay, and like Democrats all get along as well. There's just people who vote blue that are not Democrats. They're leftists and they vote blue because the only other option is red. There are people like that on your side as well. You just don't acknowledge them or engage with them, so you're not including them in your little skit. Democrats and liberals, they are much more center, so they don't care if there's that difference. A lot of TERFs are liberals. There's a lot of like bigotry that happens in liberals. There's a lot of like capitalism is like liberals. Different. They are siding with you guys a lot more because they are in the center much more. Yeah? That's the difference here. So like we do not, it's not a secret that leftists don't like liberals. It's not a secret. It's not a secret that we get pissed off and like mad and like tell them that they're incorrect. I think that it's a bit of an extreme to say that we're yelling at everyone and calling them like Nazis and white supremacists for having a single opinion. But I just think it's really important for these people to like know that there is a difference. I think it's more interesting to think about the fact that so many people who identify as conservative or right-leaning like all share the same sort of ideology and they don't like care about anything that much. And then they look at the left and like liberals and they're like, there's such a divide. It's like, yeah, because we're not the same. We have created our own thoughts, and leftists do not agree with either Democrats or Republicans. So like, it's not Democrats shaming other Democrats. It's people who fucking hate both parties. That's who you're trying to talk about. Anyway.
We need to ban all firearms. I'm telling you, crime will go down if no one has one. Okay, what about this week? A 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee was to the point where she wasn't alive in Charlotte by a repeat offender with a knife. Are we banning knives next? No.
I always find this argument so ridiculous because once again, common sense out the window, girl. You can surely comprehend the difference between a knife and a firearm and the damage that they can do. How many mass knifings have there been? Tell me. None? Yeah, that sounds about right. Because do you know how hard it is to kill someone with a knife? It's so much harder to end a life with a knife. And it takes so much longer as well. With like an automatic, semi-automatic rifle or whatever, I don't know, gun terminology, you can like take down multiple people in a minute. With a knife, you can get one person in like multiple minutes. You can like, it's gonna take you a long time to end several lives. Yeah, by the time you're done with like one or two, everyone else has fucking fled the scene. It's a drastic difference in how many people are going to die. You're also more likely to live through a stabbing than you are a shooting. Less people are going to commit knife crimes and stabbing because it is a much more personal thing. People who commit gun violence are cowards. They don't want to like, it's not a personal thing. They can mow down a bunch of people without having to look at them, without having to touch them, without having to think about it. They just pull a trigger and it's done. When you have a knife, that's like close. That is personal. You have to like feel the impact of that. You personally are taking that life with your own hands. And a lot of people aren't fucking doing that. Especially not like school shooters, right? Like students and things at school. Like they're doing that because it's easy, it's available, and it works for the ideology that they're like believing in and stuff, right? They're not going and like stabbing a bunch of their classmates, right? And if they attempt that, they're not gonna get very far before they're stopped because they have a knife and not a firearm. It's much easier to like disarm someone with a knife. They're also not gonna harm as many people, are they? You have to surely understand this. right? And you always see people bring it up. They're like, yeah, like, you want to get rid of guns? Then you'll end up with a lot of knife crime. Like in the UK. Did you know that the US has higher knife crime than the UK? And they have guns? Like, you have both of those problems. Having guns does not take away the fact you have knife crime. People still get fucking stabbed. You're not just like getting rid of guns will bring in knife. You already have knives. And people are already killing each other with them. Like, okay, maybe some knife deaths will go up, but the homicide rate will still decrease drastically. Like, so much.
So you guys say you're the party that's educated, right? Yeah, we're the ones that have college degrees. So what is a woman? Why are you asking? Because you don't know the definition yourself? No, it actually seems like you're deflecting because you don't know the answer to that question.
I love these people because they do just come in and say the most generalized statement and add like absolutely no backing or anything to what they're saying at all, just to try to make themselves sound smart by giving like such little information from the other side. I've never heard anyone turn that around and be like, oh, are you so stupid you don't know what a woman means, you stupid Republican? That's not a thing I've ever heard said. People are typically very happy with telling you the definition of women. You just don't like it. That's really the problem here, is that you don't like it, so then you turn around and call us stupid. Just because you don't like the sentiment doesn't mean that we're stupid. It just means that you are refusing to like budge on something despite being given reason. A woman is a woman. There doesn't really need to be much more of an explanation. It's kind of like, how do you describe red? What is the definition of red? Red is red. It's just red. A woman is a woman. Someone who identifies as a woman. Gender is a made-up construct that like we just decided existed. We created these ideas and put them into boxes. Like, yes, okay, there are different sexes, male, female, intersex, right? Like our chromosomes are different, our anatomy is different, sure. But that doesn't decide who we are as people. Like that does not say anything about who we are. It just says what our like DNA says. But we sort of decided that this is what it means to be a woman, and this is what it means to be a man. You have to be one of those two things, and you have to tick all these boxes to be this and all these boxes to be this. And some people who have like this anatomy identify more with this, so then they identify with this, and like that's fine. I don't know why it bothers you so much. I don't know why it matters to you so much. It doesn't impact you at all. If they were born with these chromosomes and this anatomy, but they tick more boxes for what society has said this is a woman, then why wouldn't they be a woman? If they identify more with this than this, why can't they be over here? I don't understand. It doesn't impact you. Have some like compassion and like think critically and not just in a line. You have to have more of a spectrum of thinking and like wider range thinking and like take into consideration a lot of outside factors and not just like one string.
All right, next question. What is the difference between a legal and illegal immigrant? Nobody's illegal on stolen land.
Being like, no one is illegal on stolen land, which is true. Yeah, that's fair. The thing is, once again, people know the difference between an illegal and illegal immigrant. The point is that we just don't care. Like, I know illegal immigrant is someone who lives in the country who has like gone through all the paperwork and been approved to like stay in the country and work in the country, whatever. Legal. An illegal immigrant is someone who is in the country who does not have the paperwork to be here. Who has not gone through all of that, who's not paid the thousands of fucking dollars or pounds or whatever to get that paperwork. And I just don't care. I just don't give a fuck. I think that countries, it's all made up. Borders are fake. It's all fucking stupid. Who cares? Literally, who fucking cares, man? Like the EU, right? There's so many countries who they're all individual countries, but like you have a visa that applies for all of them because it's all just like lines. And that works fine. It works just fucking fine. I don't understand why it matters that much. It's so fucking stupid. It's just land where people live and you exist. Like, I don't just let people like exist there. And that doesn't mean like you're allowed to like kick people out of their homes and be like, yeah, but I want to be here, so I'm gonna live here. Get out, this is mine now. Just, we can all like live together and work together without like stealing and hating each other and whatever. Like we can live and work harmoniously, and you shouldn't have to go through a whole fucking thing just to be allowed to live in a country, because it's all fucking fake lines and bullshit.
We're compassionate. We care about people, unlike you guys. Oh, you're the same compassionate people that cheered when kids drowned in the flood because their parents voted for Trump? Compassion, right.
I don't know a single person that would do that. If there was anyone doing that, they are in the minority. And also there are people on your side that do that as well. I've seen multiple conservative people cheer for the murder of like trans children. So like, maybe don't, you know, like you can't be claiming innocence in this situation if that is something that actually occurred. Yeah.
MAGA woman can't say the word girl anymore. It's offensive. Conservative women have no right to use it. You're literally perpetuating oppression. Okay, first of all, girl, that's insane. You also claim that we're homophobic and racist. So please name me one law that's been passed against gay or black people by conservatives. Go ahead, I'll wait. No, it's systemic oppression. It's not written in the law, it's just there. Okay, then that makes you fine with admitting that not one single discriminatory law has passed. Obergefell, that was one random woman, not the Supreme Court. But saying girl is offensive. No, you don't get to kiki. If you can't even define what a girl is, then maybe don't tell me that I can't say that word. Language is for everyone, and saying girl is not discriminatory. It literally describes someone with XX chromosomes. And here's the irony. You say women should have free choice over their own bodies. Which I agree, you should be able to decide what goes in your body. But somehow free speech isn't included in that freedom.
Has anyone ever said that? I'm sorry. I feel like I live on the internet, and I like look at this content as my job, right? I spend hours of my time watching conservatives speak. It's so much of my time. I've never heard that conversation before. Unless you are talking about it in a different way to how you just used it. Like you being like, girl, calm down. Like I do that too. Yeah, I literally just did it. I just did it. I get it as like a term where like you're talking to each other like, oh, hey girl. Or like sometimes you do use it in a bit of a condescending way, a little bit like that, which I think is kind of okay when you are also like a woman, right? I don't think men should be doing that because it has like that extra layer of like condescension and being like, I am above you as a man, right? Like that's different. You can be like, girl, like I get it. That's fine. Go off. What we do mean when we say don't say girl is like when you are talking about like women, right? Not being like girl, hey girl, like being like girls are, when you're talking about like women's health or like women in general, you talk about them as women. You say women, you don't say girl, because then you are like infantilizing them and like, you know? That's sort of the difference. It's about where you use it. When you're talking about women, talk about women. When you're talking about girls, talk about girls. It's just a matter of using the right word where you use it. And that doesn't go for just conservatives. That's like in general. I think we need to use woman more than girl. And that's so funny because I used to say girl instead of women when I was younger because I didn't really think about it. I didn't really know about it. And then I started getting like TikTok memories from when I was like 20 and I'm watching them and I keep saying girls instead of women. And I'm like, that sounds so wrong. It sounds so wrong to my ears. I hate it. We do overuse girl. We should be using women. I think we should think about that. And I think that's more what the conversation is. As far as passing laws that are like racist, sexist, homophobic, or whatever, and then being like making fun of people for being like, it's systemic oppression. And you're like, okay, so you're admitting that it's not real. Like, firstly, there have been a lot of changes, right? That have been taken or that are in the talks of being taken, that although they may not be inherently like targeted towards like, they're not like homophobic laws in the sense of they aren't presently like saying gay marriage is illegal now. They are doing things such as changing like the information that kids are given, right? Like the National Education for Children channel changed to being PragerU, which is a conservative media, like a conservative, very strongly conservative channel. And it is in itself like homophobic and racist and sexist. It is enforcing all of those ideas. So that is something that has changed. although that isn't like an explicitly like racist thing, it is teaching racist things. So therefore, it is racist. And that is something that has passed and is actively happening. Also, Trump is pushing to bring back conversion therapy. That is straight up literally homophobic. That's like wanting to torture queer teenagers and children. So like that's there as well. And him and fellow like Republicans and politicians and things are actively, vocally speaking out against queer people and like people of color, women, etc. Like they all are expressing these bigoted opinions, which is then empowering their followers to do the same. So even if there are no laws being passed, which there are some in talks and there are things that are moving, it is still empowering people to be hateful and to commit hate crimes and to hurt people. That's what systemic oppression means. And it's being like encouraged and not shut down. People are feeling empowered to be hateful.
Hey, you still want pew-pew control, right? Yes, of course. If we didn't have pew-pews, then there'd be less crimes. I don't entirely agree with that statement, but I want you to remember saying that. Oh boy, what are you gonna say now? Well, an off-duty officer just got shot in the face and the arm with a pew-pew by a civilian. Oh wow, that's awful. See, that's why we should ban pew-pews for reasons like that. Yeah, an illegal shot him. Oh, well the off-duty officer must have antagonized him. No, actually he did not, because it was completely unprovoked and thankfully he was able to return fire. Wait, wasn't he a border patrol agent? Don't tell me that he deserved to get shot in the face because of that. All I'm saying is that maybe the officer isn't completely innocent here. Maybe he said something to him or gave him a look. Or maybe, just some food for thought, you don't put your money where your mouth is. Maybe you don't truly believe what you do because you just said that was awful until you found out who was holding it.
I still like to go back to that first statement where she was like, see, that's bad and why we shouldn't have pew-pews because then it wouldn't happen. Why would that change? That statement's still the same. I don't recall her retracting that statement. Why did you just suddenly pretend that that wasn't said and that was overridden? I'm confused. The takeaway from this argument is still guns bad. That's still where I've ended up. Like, I don't know why anyone would have ended up with any other conclusion. This wouldn't have happened without firearms. Correct. I also love that these people love to be like, oh, you lefties, you liberals, you don't care about crime if it's illegal immigrants committing it. They can get away with anything and you don't care. Since when has that ever been true? You're absolutely just saying absolute bullshit. Like if anyone commits murder or rape or anything like that, it doesn't matter who you are. That's not okay, and you should indeed face the consequences of that. I don't give a fuck where you're from. That's not ever a part of the argument. I don't know why you're acting as though as soon as an illegal immigrant commits a crime, we are justifying it. There may be more reasons into situations, right? Everything has layers and whatever. And in this instance, I didn't hear about this, so I don't know the full story here. So I don't know what happened. I'm not gonna excuse someone shooting someone in the face, obviously. The problem is, again, both people in this instance had a firearm. That wouldn't have happened if neither of them had a firearm, correct? Yeah, correct. Great. I'm glad that we can agree on that. I think a lot of the time in this conversation when talking about illegal immigrants committing crimes, I think that these Republicans, conservatives, they twist the narrative so much because they kind of just go crime bad. When a lot of the time, the crimes that these illegal immigrants have committed, the only crime they've committed is just being an illegal immigrant. They've never committed a violent crime. They've just overstayed their welcome or if they've entered the country illegally. Yeah, I am going to defend them for that because they haven't done anything wrong. And if they've committed other crimes, then I do think that, there needs to be justice for that. I think that the issue comes in when they are treated differently. You should be giving the same treatment to immigrants who commit crimes and to Americans who commit crimes. Is that everyone should face the same trial. Everyone should face the same consequences. And so people are gonna get upset if like an illegal immigrant did this and their punishment is 10 times harsher than if an American did it. Then people aren't defending their crime, they're defending them in the way that like, hey, this punishment is way too harsh considering this is what normally happens. And then in other instances, we're gonna be over here being like, this punishment that you gave to this American person was not harsh enough. You need to be harsher. That's where it comes down to. It's not that people shouldn't face the consequences for committing crimes. It's that the punishment should fit the crime. That's really the main issue. I've never seen anyone like defend a violent crime that someone has committed. I have seen them defend them for being treated poorly for committing that crime when other people do not get treated in that same way. It's about justice and equal treatment. That's the conversation.
We just want a world where everyone is represented. Every culture, every background, every shade of skin, every income bracket. Unless they disagree with you. What? Yeah, you want diversity of everything except for ideas. Like a kaleidoscope of opinions that all say the same thing. That's not true. We just want people to be kind. Kind or compliant? It's about being woke, about standing up for people. You mean posting a hashtag and buying a t-shirt? That's not standing up, that's accessorizing your conscience. So wanting to look like a good person is bad now? No, but looking like one isn't the same as being one. Compassion is not performance arts. You don't get moral points for repeating slogans. So you think I'm fake? I think your heart is in the right place. I just wish your brain was allowed to sit at the same table.
See, she's got me like half in agreement here. This is the problem with so much of this content, is that like they say things that are like so close, right? Like, correct. There is a performative activism epidemic that is so raging right now. I will absolutely give that to you. You are 1000% correct in that. I have been thinking about doing a video for that for so long. I really should get onto that because I really want to talk about it. There are absolutely so many people who are incredibly performative about their activism. There are a lot of people who stand here and do just, say things to get brownie points. They don't actually know what they're saying. They don't actually care about what they're saying. They're just saying it because it makes them feel better about themselves and as though they have done something. It's like you see it with the BDS boycott. I've seen so many people get ragingly mad at people for using boycotted products, and then they go and are drinking a Coke while they're on Twitter tweeting about it. And I'm like, girl, you don't actually care. You're just trying to feel better about yourself. There's a lot of performative activism and people who don't know what they're talking about. Absolutely. As far as wanting diversity, except for people who disagree with you, no. The problem is that you don't disagree with me. You disagree with people's existence, right? I'm not going to want to be around people who are actively campaigning for harm. I don't mind if we have different opinions. I love being surrounded by people who have different opinions. I think it's important to have different opinions and not exist in an echo chamber. That would be so fucking boring if we were all exactly the same. However, conservatives, you all, I would say, are very one-minded and hate anything that's different. I feel you are the most everyone must be the same group of people ever. Because you're conservative, it's about tradition and keeping things the same. So you all share a mentality. You don't like anything different. And I can say that because where we butt heads is that we say, hey, we want diversity. We think people should be different and people should be allowed to be different and express themselves differently. And you're like, fuck you. Everyone has to be the same and fit in these boxes. I don't like when they're different. And then we're like, okay, I don't actually want to hang out with you because you hate people who are different. You then look at us and are like, oh, so you don't want to hang out with people who are different? I do, you don't. That's the problem. That's the problem. I want diversity of everyone. That means I'm going to have trans people. I'm going to have queer people. I'm going to have people of different cultures. I'm going to have able-bodied people, disabled people, whatever. A range of people. You're not going to want to be there because you hate half of them. You think half of them don't deserve your respect. You think half of them deserve to fucking die. I'm not the one keeping you from being over here. You're keeping yourself over there. I'm saying to you, you are welcome to join as soon as you say that all of them are valid and they're all equal. But you won't do that, so you won't join. You are allowed over here. You can be a part of this diversity. You don't want to be. You're keeping yourself over here and then yelling at us for excluding you. You're excluding yourself by excluding half the people over here. You don't want to be involved when there are people you don't like there. Me accepting you isn't going to make you accept all of them, is it? You get it, right? Like you understand the issue here? If I invite you over here, you're just going to be bitching and moaning the whole time because you don't want to be around all these people who are different to you. So I don't fucking want you here. I don't want you in my like diversity campaign because you're telling other people to hate the other people in the diversity campaign. So you don't get a fucking invite. You have to be chill with everyone. If you aren't okay with everyone over here, then you're not fucking allowed over here. It's really that simple. This is on you. It's your fucking move, bro. If you want to be involved in diversity and have these opportunities around people who are different, you have to accept people who are different. And if you're not going to do that, you're not going to be fucking invited to the party. I don't know if I worded that correctly, but I got a little bit riled up there. Yeah. Okay. So this was, I didn't even ever say her name. She's Polita Peach, like politics plus peach, Polita Peach. It's kind of fun. And yeah, I have like so many more of her TikToks saved to my phone, and I only scrolled back like 3 months. So there is a world of content here. If you want to see me make another video about her, I am so happy to do so. I have so much more to say. She also has so much more to say. So, you know, let me know. I would love to hear your opinions, and I would actually low-key kind of love to do another one of these. So please do leave a like. A huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Polar Bee, Sienna, Alicia, Marielle, Bree, Bay the Trucker, Chastity, Beckett, Prismatic Petey, Sushi Kawaii, Phil the Duck, Jessie, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Chris, Ellie, Alexis, and Bobby. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes, you replace the darkness.